SCPAFFL. It's good to be with you. This is C-Dash, a.k.a. Corey Nilsson, a.k.a. You Play Ball Like a Girly, which last week was pretty good, to play like a girly. I hold in my hands the power rankings. This was difficult, but hopefully you'll see the process I went through to get here. I asked yesterday for help ranking who should be number one and why you should be there. Didn't get a whole lot of response. I appreciate those that did try to fight for their teams. I respect that, and I took that into consideration. But I'm going to start at the bottom, the very bottom of this. 12th spot, we got to go with the 12th spot. And Jake, you deserve to be the 12 team. And I will tell you why. You have the worst team name I've ever heard. War in Jeffs? What does that have to do with football? I get you found two words that sounded like the first name of this guy that is a controversial polygamist guy. But War in Jeffs? That's like me going, oh, here's my team name. Don Old Trump. Huh? Clever, huh? Don, get it? Don and old, and it makes no sense. Like maybe if we had a guy in the league named Jeff, maybe J Chav was in the league, and you said War in Jeff's basement, maybe, but War in Jeff's? Yeah. I don't care that your team hasn't put up less than 102 yet, that you're undefeated. Doesn't matter. With a team name like that, you deserve 12th. And you would be in 12th if it weren't for, I can't even say this name because it hurts, but Cowboys suck. That pains me to say because it's not true. But Mitch, as much as Jake deserves to be in 12th, you deserve it more. Let me tell you why. Your only win is against Nuke, and Nuke is soft as Charmin. That's pathetic. All the talk that you give, and I drafted all the best players, and why didn't anybody else draft anybody good? You've only beat Nuke, and so you have nothing to say for yourself. Kareem Hunt has been a revelation. Congrats on that lucky guess. But let's remember, you auto-drafted. I don't care if it was just one player. You auto-drafted, and that makes for bad karma. So I noticed this week you got 3 questionables on your roster. It's that karma coming back around for auto-drafting. And so, Mitch, that's why you deserve the 12th. And you would be 12th if it weren't for Patch. Patch, man. You talk so highly of yourself as an investigative reporter. There was no content in there. I didn't hear anything from Andy Dalton or anybody else who would talk about Andy Dalton. At least find somebody on the street to say how bad Andy Dalton is. I drafted the guy. You could have interviewed me. I will admit your 2 losses, you're 1 and 2, your 2 losses are pretty narrow. But still, we expect more from you. And even though you have those 2 narrow losses, you also have 2 Jags on your team. You can't do that. As a fan, you can't have the 2 Jags. So that's why you deserve 12. But there is somebody that deserves it more than you. Because you have 2 Jags, but they're actually decent players. SCPAFFL champ. You have 2 Lions who just sit on your bench. At least pick up guys from your favorite team that you can use, but that's ridiculous. You won one of your games with an 81.6. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. And you haven't really beat anybody any good, but we'll see this week. You and I matched up head-to-head. We'll see what you do against a real team as I give you your first loss. So you should be in the 12th spot. You deserve the 12th spot. But as the reigning champ, you get a little bit of a pass, and that's why we put Bucky at the 12th spot. Bucky, you deserve the 12. I know you're the 2-time champ, but what have you done for me lately? All this talk about years past, what are you doing right now? And it's not much. You're not good, you're not bad, you're lukewarm. All of you that took seminary, you remember Revelation. The Lord says, I would that you were hot or cold. For if you are lukewarm, I will spew you into 12th place. Something like that. And right now, Buck, you're lukewarm. As a reigning champ, you should be better. But pick a side. Do something. Either be awful or be great, but don't be lukewarm. That's why you deserve 12, Bucky. But there's something even worse than that. You're lukewarm. Chase, you're backwards. We them boys, you deserve the 12 more than Bucky because you're backwards. Out of your 3 weeks, your lowest score is the only week you've won. So you won with like an 81, and you've lost with 2 scores higher than that. One of them 112. Sorry, that was against me, but you're backwards. It's unnatural. There's no place for that here. So fix things, but yeah, because of how backwards you are, you deserve the 12 spot. And as much as I make fun of that and think it's backwards, you have broke 100, and so somebody hasn't. So that's why instead of putting you in the 12 spot, Chase, I'm going to put Dragons back. Dragons back to the 12th place because he hasn't scored over 100 points this season. And that's pathetic. You've been close, but you haven't got there yet. We need to step aside from fantasy football for a moment and talk about some more important things. Quape, you might have a girlfriend. That's what I hear. And so let's step away from football. Let me just remind you of the family, a proclamation to the world, and how necessary it is for you to have a family. And with that, please don't remember your For the Strength of Youth pamphlet as you're dating this young lady. Be wise. Be wise. We don't need any little dragons running around before you get to the temple. So just remember that, okay? So, Quape, that's why you deserve the 12. You haven't broken 100 yet. Sadly, there's somebody else that hasn't broken 100 and hasn't even been as close to 100 as you have been. And so we got to put Blair there. Blair, you haven't broken 100, and you have a bad team name. So that, from what we said about Warren Jeffs, that's so stupid. Warren Jeffs and now Blair, I put off where I said you change your team name. But also break 100 points. You won with an 82.92. That's one of your victories. That's pathetic. I talked about Sky he won a game with an 81. I did a Sacco 2 years ago for having an 83. So my Sacco that year is more than you scored in a win. That's ridiculous. As you guys can see, the records right now don't matter to me. I don't care if you're 3-0 or 1-2 or 0-3. No one's 0-3. Congrats to the league, by the way. Probably the quickest we've all gotten a win. But that's bad. It's bad that you are winning with a score lower than my Sacco. So yeah, get a new team name. So that's why Blair deserves a 12. But Blair, you don't deserve it as much as Blake. Blake, first of all, your team name isn't even appropriate for seminary. Play a club pimp? And then the acronym PCP, that's a drug reference. I can't even talk about you in seminary. So that's the reason why you deserve 12. And you haven't broke 100 yet. And you've scored in the 70s 2 times. Twice you've been in the 70s, Blake. That's no good. That's just not acceptable. We can't have that in this league. So you deserve the 12. Crazily enough, you don't deserve the 12 as much as Bonesaw. Bonesaw, you lost to Nuke. We talked about someone's only win. Whose was it? Mitch's only win being against Nuke. You lost to Nuke. You're his only win. You've lost twice to the score of 81.65. Like, that's not even possible. 2 times people against you scored 81.65, and you've lost both times. So I'll say you've hit a sophomore slump. Because of that sophomore slump, you deserve the 12 spot. But there's somebody who hit the sophomore slump harder than you. And so that's why we have to award the 12 spot to Nuke. Nuke, I'm sorry. You tried to convince me yesterday that you didn't deserve the 12 because of your past record, but dude, I can't get past what you haven't done. You suck. Sorry, we don't say suck in seminary. You stink. You haven't broke 82. You haven't been higher than 82 points this whole season. You're averaging a 67. No one else in the league has dropped a 67 yet, or lower. Everybody scored above 67, and that's your average. So you have had a tough schedule. You've gone up against the highest scoring points, so maybe you're just saving your guys till you have a chance to win. Things should get easier from here, but Nuke, we got to put you in the 12. As much as everybody else deserves it, you take it. And because of that, we talked about all 11 of you deserving to be in the 12 spot. Through the process of elimination, I guess I get the number 1. It's just the way it goes. I'm the only one left standing. I deserve this because of the great things I've done. And rather than myself talk about this turnaround that we're making and how great things are, I'm going to let our Commander-in-Chief do that. So if you'll direct your eyes towards the projector screen, here you go.
We're going to win so much. We're going going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with health care and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much. I love you, Albany. Get out and vote. You will be so happy.
I love you, SCPAFFL. We're going to win so much with you play ball like a girly. We're probably going to get sick of it. But I love you, SCPAFFL. Get out there and vote or play your games this week. I love you all.